you gotta love the house band, really. Today we have a special guest, a good friend of mine, and her name is Leni Puccio, and she's a senior like me.
That's right.
And why is that important? Because we've become senior influencers. And today she's here because she wrote a children's book. Leni, what prompted you at your age, and I'm not going to ask you your age or my age,
I have
to write
no
a book?
problem with my age. I'm 70.
You're 70. God bless you.
70.
I'm only 2 years behind you.
Okay.
But you wrote a book.
Yes.
Why?
Well, my book is about fairies and about problem solving, and it comes from my mom. My mom used to comb my hair when I was little, and it would get tangled, and I used to do the same things with my kids and my grandkids, and about 7 years ago, my mom passed away.
Okay.
And I felt like I needed to capture this story. And
the story is?
Airy and the Fairies, a naughty solution.
A naughty solution.
Yeah.
Naughty, not naughty.
Naughty.
Play on words. I like it.
Yes. And so it's all about a little girl who would go to sleep every night. She had long curly hair, and the fairies would come and have parties in her hair.
I wonder if I'm getting fairies in my hair.
Well, I cut them out.
My hair's longer than yours right now.
Yes. And so she loves the fairies, but she starts to get upset because every morning her hair is so tangled and she has to get it brushed out, and it hurts. It hurts. Okay. So she goes to her mom, and she talks to her mom, and she says, is there a way we can solve this problem that we don't want to hurt the fairies, but we got to get them out of my hair.
And how old is this girl in your story?
Well, she's somewhere between 3 and 7, okay, I would say. And that's the age group that the book is aimed at.
So it's geared for 3 to 7 years old.
Right.
Your mother inspired you.
Right.
And how old were you when she was telling you this story?
Oh, I was probably about 3.
3?
And I grew up knowing about Freddie and Frida my whole life. These were the fairies that used to party in my hair. Okay. So the only problem was when my mom would tell the story, there was no ending. Because we would finish combing my hair, we'd get up and we'd go about our day. So when I went to write it down, I was like, oh, this is a problem. I don't have an ending. Well, my background is cooking. And so I thought, well, this is how we're going to solve this problem. These fairies are having a party, and food is always involved in parties. So we're going to figure out how to have a fairy party out of her hair. And I'm not going to tell you how she figures that out.
No, they need to buy the book.
That's right.
And read it.
But we do have recipes in the book. At the end of the book, there's a number of recipes that children can make with their parents to create a fairy party. And that's really what the book is really about. It's about working with your parents. You have a problem, you go to your parents, you help them, that you work together to solve it.
Yeah.
You don't try to do it by yourself. Right. You work together, and it creates lots of wonderful memories if the kids get to do some of the
If they get to do the recipes
right.
and cooking. Plus, it inspires kids to read.
Yes.
Instead of sitting on a computer or an iPad and Google the answer.
Right.
Because that's the biggest problem we have today.
That's right.
Nobody wants to read. I grew up probably like you.
Right.
I didn't have a TV for a while.
Nope.
So all I did was read. And I became a voracious reader, and I'm sure you did too.
Right.
And it's kind of interesting because I didn't know you were writing a book. And then I wrote my book.
Which is a great book. I love it.
My Rise from the Wise Guys. You can check it out. But it was really interesting when I was talking to Leni that she goes, Carl, I'm writing a book.
That's right.
And I self-published.
You got yours published before I did.
Yes.
Mine was done, but I had a lot of trouble with the illustration.
Well, you did illustrations.
Yes.
My book has no illustrations, but I have a great producer named Tom Casey. And I was told to do an audio book. Tom, in his geniusness, not only did he make it audio, he made it a video. So all 20 chapters, there's pictures that pop up. At the beginning, I didn't know what he was doing. So, yeah, you took longer because you had illustrations, artwork. Right. I had no artwork. Mine was just stories. And mine was a motivational book, too, just like yours.
I love it. It's a great book.
And it's interesting. Here we are, post 65.
That's right.
And telling the world, hey, we don't rest.
Hey, we have new careers. I was a computer engineer.
You were? That I didn't know.
My degree is in computer science.
I thought you were a teacher.
I was a teacher too.
Because you were teaching Tony, and that's how we met you. Tony's our husband. He's a friend of mine. That's how I met Leni. And it's kind of a funny story.
Yeah, I have a degree in computer science, and that was what I wanted to do. But I got hired out of college as a teacher to teach this new language, which is now an old language, C language.
I don't even know that. I'm computer illiterate.
Unix, a lot of people recognize that. But I got hired by the AT&T Corporation at that time to teach. I taught all over the country.
So now you write a book.
Right.
Is there another book on the horizons?
Oh, yes.
There's going to be a sequel to this?
There are 3 books in various stages. I've already written all the words for one of them.
Okay.
It needs editing and pictures. My granddaughter, who wants to help me with the illustrations this time
Which granddaughter?
around, Paisley.
Paisley, okay.
She's the 9-year-old, and they're all very artistic. I had actually asked her mom, my daughter, Erica.
Well, tell them why
Eri comes from my daughter's name, which is Erica. So it's a shortened form of that, which most people don't ever use.
Right.
But she's very talented artistically. So I had asked her to illustrate the first one, but she's in nursing school, a couple of kids. She was too busy.
But remember when I met Erica at your house for a party?
That's right.
She was dressed as what?
The Tooth
Fairy. The Tooth Fairy. Me being the dentist, I show up, she was the Tooth Fairy. Now you write a book on fairies. I mean, karma's incredible.
I know.
I mean, we couldn't script this.
I know.
I mean, this is what happens in life when you live life full and you enjoy just waking up in the morning.
And you accept everything that comes into your life and you figure out how to make it work. And when I was young, my mom always said, you can do anything that you want to do, anything you put your mind to, you can learn how to do, even if you don't know how to do it. And if you do know how to do it, then go out and do it.
And it's interesting because we grew up in the same era.
Right.
And my mom used to say the same, Carl, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
Just put your mind to it. You can be whatever you want.
And there's kind of a funny story with that. There was a Barbie book that was very popular when my daughter was young.
Okay.
And Barbie was a veterinarian, and she was an astronaut, and she was a ballet dancer. And so my daughter said, I want to do all those things. She must have been about 4 or 5 years old. And my son, who was 7 years older, said, you can't do all those things. And I looked at both of them, and I said, of course you can. I said, not everything can be done at the same time, but over a lifetime with a little bit of perseverance and luck, you can do all
And that's a great
things.
lesson, really, because, my occupation was a dentist. But that was my occupation. And I love the way I did. But I'm also a wildlife photographer. I'm an author now. I do motivational speech. People look at me and go, how do you do all of this? I don't think about it.
You love it.
I just love what I do, just like you. You cook. You made me limoncello. Hey, I'm Italian. She's married to an Italian.
Yes, that's right.
the only way we're going to go about anything about the culture. You drink, we write, and we have a good time.
Right. Well, professionally, I was a systems engineer and a computer specialist my whole career. But I had a catering business. My husband and I owned a
I remember your Italian restaurant. I went there. Yeah.
We owned an Italian restaurant for several years. We have done so many different things in our life. I taught children cooking for 10 years. And now I'm a writer.
Well, look at my wife. She's a school teacher by trade. She bakes cookies that are off the charts.
Yes.
She sews. She's taught our grandchildren all of those things. And like you said, there's no limits. It's whatever you want to do. And if you love it, it's not easy in the beginning, but it becomes easy. It becomes passionate.
Right.
So what would you tell an aspiring author? I had people come up to me and say, I want to write a book. I'm not going to tell you what I told them. So what would you tell if somebody goes, Leni, I loved your book and I want to write a book?
Write it. You got to get it out of you. I mean, I have friends for years who told me to write a cookbook.
Yeah.
Never did it. But now I sort of have my cookbook.
I know. I bought your book. I saw the recipes. And I didn't get this body by not eating and cooking. So I could care less about that. But what is your favorite book growing up as a child?
My favorite book growing up as a child was probably the Dr. Seuss books.
Really? Okay.
I think they are wonderful. I mean, there's so many.
Right.
Pick a favorite author. But one of my favorite things about Dr. Seuss is they get kids involved.
Right.
You know, his nonsensical words appeal to children, to their sense of wonder. You know, they look at the world a different way.
Oh, absolutely. And they're sponges. They're sponges.
And I can tell you a funny story about that, because when we were doing the book, I'd show my my 3-year-old granddaughter. I would show her the pictures because she was like my target audience.
Right.
So I'd show her everything.
Oh, that's a good point.
And one day she said to me, it was a picture of a fairy village with houses and fairies flying all around. And I showed it to her and she looked at it and she says, "Who's that bad guy?" I'm thinking, there's no bad guys in my story.
Wow.
So I look at it and I'm like, I don't see anything. I said, show me, what's the problem? And so she shows me, and it turns out it's a vase. It's a house that was drawn. You know how the windows were kind of down,
slanted,
and it looked like it was scowling.
Wow. And she picked this up.
I would have never seen it.
Right. Wow.
Never seen it. So obviously it's no longer in the book.
No.
But it's a good thing I showed it to her, because children look at things so differently.
So really, Dr. Seuss was your favorite.
Right.
Mine was Walt Disney. When he wrote his biography,
Right.
the words that stuck in my head is, if you can dream it, you can do it.
That's
I was
right.
a dreamer.
You always say that.
I know. That became my mantra at 8 years old. And people used to think I was weird. And then Elvis Presley writes a song, Follow That Dream.
Right.
So all through college and high school and dental school, everybody goes, Carl's a dreamer. But you know what? Dreams come true if you go after it.
That's right.
You know, they're not dreams. They're not fallacies.
Right.
If you can think about it, I visualize everything. I'm a visual person.
Right.
I don't like reading manuals. How about you? Are you a visual, or you like reading manuals because you know,
I
IT
do
engineer?
both.
Oh, you're that talented,
Yeah.
huh? Hey, you're killing me here.
I'm sorry.
So what's on the horizon other than 2 books? Anything else outside of writing books or anything?
Well, I hope my husband will retire soon and maybe we'll travel. A trip to Sicily might be.
I've been to Sicily many times. It's great. I love it.
I know. We have not been, but that is my hope, to get there one of these days.
Your second book, you have a title?
No.
No title.
No.
But it's going to be on the fairy level, right?
Right. The fairies are going to, Ari is going to take her little fairies with her, and they're going to travel around the world.
Now, are you going to name the other fairies after your grandchildren?
No.
You got Eric. Why not? You have Erica as your daughter. You start getting Paisley as a fairy. Think about it.
Well, if we, well, I wouldn't use their names.
No,
per
we didn't
se.
make it slow. Yeah.
But I could do something. I could think
about that.
If
You're
I
gonna
add some
immortalize your
fairies,
grandkids. Hey.
Yeah. Well, they're already in the book. They're in the foreword.
No. Let them be a character. Come on. Your husband's a character. I'm a character.
My mother-in-law wants to be a character.
Make her a character.
Well, she is. She's in the next book, and I'll give you a hint. The next trip is to Italy.
Oh.
So she's gonna be Nona
Nona in Sicily?
in Sicily.
Sicily. So that's because your husband's Sicilian. I'm Napoli Don, so it's a lot different.
Yes.
But the food is great, and I'm really happy to have you here, Leni. I hope you've enjoyed it. Now, how can they find your book?
Oh, so the book is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but I also do have my own website.
What's the website?
LeniPuccio.com. LENI, P like in Peter, UCCIO .com.
You're not at anything. Yeah, that's all right. Not at anything.
Yeah.
Listen, we got Italian last names. We end in a vowel. My patients would call me Dr. B because they couldn't say Balancioni.
Right.
So I would say macaroni. And everybody laughs. I go, now say Balancioni.
That's like Puccio, because I tell people say Gucci. And,
Oh, Gucci Pucci.
and then people say, are you related? And I'm like, I wish.
Yeah, I know. We wish. I wish I owned macaroni, you know? So I'm very happy that you came out today.
Yes, I'm glad you invited me.
You're on the set. Our house band is phenomenal. And I'm sure they're going to play a tune when we close it. So again, Leni Puccio, Ari and the Fairies. And if I pronounced it wrong...
No, you did great.
Oh, really? Because usually I pronounce everything wrong. I'm from New York. I butcher the language. But at the end of the day, it's a great book. I got it from my granddaughters. They love it. And I actually bought more than one because I have 3 granddaughters.
Yeah,
So
do I.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by estrogen. They're killing me. So it's all good. And my book, I got to give a shameless plug, My Rise
of course.
from the Wise Guys. And really, if you look at the video portion that Tom did, I like the video portion better than the reading portion. because it's audio video. So if you
Right.
want to listen to the audio and not see the video, and you can stop it, it's 20 chat. I just like seeing all the pictures. It made me relive my life, which was kind of scary. But, you know, Tom, he was there for me. Troy Seuss, I couldn't thank him enough for sitting down and helping me write this book. I mean, you wrote yours all on your own.
Yeah.
So credit to you. Me, I need help. I'm high maintenance. Anyway, thanks for coming, Leni.
You're very welcome.
And you have a happy holiday season.
Thank you. You too.
And that's it for tonight. The next show, just stay tuned, because just remember this quote: to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. I love that quote, because you never know how you can impact people. So to the next show, ciao.